Now, when we are born, we look like this. Okay, it's a natural bundle of joy to every parent, to all parents. What happened is all parents were promised they will give him or her full support, nurturance, blah, 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 all the promises and hope that this little person will be a successful person one day, right? No parents will say no to that. This is our first thing. So remember this. Although I just picked any baby from internet, but it looks cute enough. Now, when we are born, we are naturally curious, wondering about the world, wondering about life. We just want to explore life. We just want to be ourselves. Okay, unfortunately, there's this thing called parents or child caregivers, which hinder our exploration, which hinder what we want to do. So parents, in a way, are no good if they don't know what to do. That's why I'm sharing with you tonight. And then we have this thing called developmental markers, very special stages, which all of us go through, hopefully. Right? We walk, we flip, we stand, we do all kinds of things. I'm not going through all this developmental psychology. But what I want to share with you, for example, of a stage is 12 months. By 12 months, most children should be able to utter a couple of words. And the best words is always Papa, Mama. That will turn the parents elated, wondering, wow, what happened to this? Why did I get this? You know, they go on nurturing the child. But for some kids, this is slow. They still don't utter anything. They go, And then you're wondering, my goodness, what language was that? Where is my child from? Okay, now I call this child junior, just for convenience. Not that I'm biased, male or female. So let's look at junior's life. After first year, we start to do a lot of things to junior. We move junior into what we call child care now, nursery, okay, because of the kiasuism. Without child care, they cannot go to school, or they will lose out in school because they are not going to learn ABC in primary 1. All this should have been done earlier. So we moved the kid to child care, does a lot of stuff. At the end of the year, the teacher gave a report. You know, junior is good at this, but he's still behind in language. So as parents, you think of junior, oh dear, now he's behind in language. What else, right? So never mind, nursery, kindergarten is part of life. So he moved on and then went into primary school. And junior worked very hard and came back with the first year report card, a lot of blue, a couple of red. And the parents will look at the red, they can't see the blue because red is brighter. So now junior fails language. Junior fails Chinese, the second language, assuming junior is Chinese. What happens? Get him a few tutors. Okay, do something, tutoring, lots of ECA lost or ECA into tutoring. Finally, junior got everything right. The next report card, all blue. The parents looked at it. Wow, all blue. But why no A's? Okay, the closest junior got was 74 for maths or arithmetic. One mark short of a distinction. In JCU, we call it D. Okay, but you don't want to hear D, you want to hear A in primary school. So one shot, and they look at the missing 26 marks, especially the 1 mark that makes the difference, as if 74 and 75 will make a person Superman or non-Superman. Right? So parents look at that. So more tuition, more stuff, more stairs, more whatever focus on junior, until finally junior passed with so many distinctions and some not distinctions. The parents are still not happy because they look at the results now. You did well, but my neighbor's son has got scholarship. So you're still out, you're still behind. Something is wrong. What am I trying to get here? Okay, that a lot of children went through normal school education. We fixed them up. School system fixed them up. If you are teachers here, you don't like me, but I'll still tell you this. Okay, I'm a lecturer here myself, so we fix up the students. We put everybody in the same class like this. Like it or not, regardless of your age, your developmental abilities, we put you in the same class. And then we say, okay, learn. This is what I'm going to teach, learn. So not everybody absorbs the same way. This is the problem. So, and some students have got problems, because later on I'll tell you about it. they learn differently. They can't accept the school way. They can't accept standardized teaching and learning. So what do we have? We label them. They can't add, so we call them ADD. ADD is attention deficit, right? Or we give them more, ADHD, put an H between because they are too active, hyperactive. We label them, we medicate them, Ritalin and all kinds of medicine, and hopefully they calm down, sit down and listen. Is that what we want? Is that what you want as parents to be, or child caregivers? No. So what are we looking at? The deficit model. This is what schools are doing now. And hopefully with our new Minister for Education or acting Minister for Education, hopefully he listens to this and then change Singapore system somewhat, hopefully, right? So we are looking at deficit model just like the way we look at the disease model. Healthcare model all over the world works on the disease model. As if you don't have a disease, we don't look after you. Which hospital, which clinic in Singapore will look after you and say, we will prevent you having disease or illness. If you don't have this, don't come see us. How many hospital clinic will give you a free check and say, you're good for the next 10 years? Sure, no problem, go home. Free checkup. They don't. Right? So we're looking at disease model for school education. We're looking at deficit model. Everything that's wrong with our child. So remember, you promised Junior the first day that you do everything to make him successful. But why now deficits? Why all the wrongs? What's wrong with 74 marks? Do you know how difficult it is for Junior to achieve 74 marks in maths? Do you know how difficult it is? More difficult to get the next 26 marks? But you're not helping. You just ask, you just query. You make life very difficult for Junior. So we should not be doing this. Okay? So we're asking school and parents, child caregivers, to be more tolerant of individual variation. We always look at the middle group and the top scorers. And the top scorers, we give them scholarships and make them scholars and make them ministers in Singapore. Okay? But those who are lower, it's not by default they are lower. It's because teaching is not done their way, which I want to share with you. So we ask teachers, parents to be more tolerant, not asking how come, but how now. What should you do now? I hope these are also your concerns. That's why you're here tonight. So I want to share with you Ken Terawaki. So if our local education system is like this, we are turning out everybody to be standard workers, standard employees. Okay, we need to be different. And I believe some schools in Singapore, some educational institutions in Singapore have changed. JCU is one of them. I'm not trying to sell JCU to you. Okay, what I like about David Walsh, the author on Smarter Parenting, Smarter Kids, or Smart Parents, Smarter Kids, is he mentioned this line: a constant drumbeat of more fast, easy, and fun undermine 21st century parents' attempts to foster self-discipline in their children. Self-discipline I'll talk about later on. As a result, we have kids who are distracted, disrespectful, impatient, need for instant gratification, sense of entitlement, unrealistic expectations, and self-centeredness. If you see that in Singapore kids, we just hit them up. Okay? And he called it discipline deficit disorder. Now there's another label. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy it. Because at the end of it, we're going to have these people called brats. That's why the publisher named my book, Not to Raise a Brat in Today's Society. Okay. I come to the crux of tonight's talk, which is negotiation parenting, a little bit of history. That's why the word history comes smaller. Just a little bit. Last year, I gave a talk on filial parenting because I knew a lot of Chinese, when they parent their kids, they want something back. When I'm old, you look after me. Okay, that's the thing. And it happens to a lot of Chinese and some Chinese families, this did not happen. And we suspect, with my students doing research on it, that Chinese and Malay and Indian families may be practicing filial parenting as well. And then when I gave filial parenting talk to international audiences and conferences, they told me that small family parenting is more likely the thing. Filial parenting may be a subset, a specialty of the Chinese or some Asian families. So I got together this idea and look at now small family parenting, which is very pervasive in today's world. A lot of families are 3 children or less. So you'll find small family parenting style in my book. Half of it is on small parenting. And after looking at all this, as a parent, you will not want to look at all parenting styles without an answer. So I came out with an answer. So negotiation parenting is born. And tonight is about it. So what is negotiation parenting? My version of it goes like this. Initially, parents negotiate the first part of journey for the child because he or she is not ready to participate. All of us are born premature. Don't laugh at premature babies. You're one of them. I'm one of them. Because if we are ready, we walk out of the womb, shake hands with the doctors who deliver us, put on our clothes, change, and walk off. Right? Just like a chick, following the mother hen and know where to look for food. We are so helpless when we are born. We just lie there in a mess. And of course, there's birth trauma. In the past, doctors will lift you up, give you your first reverse bungee jump, slap you on the backside, you're so worried, you scream, and they say, good, because now your lungs are open, ready to breathe the world. Now they don't do that. No reverse bungee jump, too risky for the heart and brain. What they do now, they poke your foot with a needle. You don't go ouch. Babies haven't learned the word ouch. So they cry, and the doctors are again happy with it. Yes? So we have this. So for the first one year or less, or depending on the child's development, the parents got to negotiate the journey for the child, knowing, learning whatever is in life, knowledge, everything to nurture the child to be the person they want to be, or the person the child wants to be. Yes? So later on, parents negotiate with the child for the rest of journey into interdependence adulthood. Because as long as the child is able to talk, to understand, parents must get feedback from the child what the child likes to do. Not, I buy ice cream, you eat it. I'm going to buy ice cream, what do you like? If he says no, don't buy. He says vanilla, there's no vanilla, don't buy. Right? That's the thing. And I'm stressing on interdependence. Because having stayed overseas in many Western countries, I realized that self-determination, individualistic society actually break up family. Because they are too independent. Okay, after a while, they don't like the wife, they change. They don't like the mother, they change. They don't like the house, they change. They don't like the car, they change. Right? But we don't want that. We're Asians, we want to share this with them. Interdependence. Wherever you go in this world, you stick together. The internet, the airlines, they're so convenient. So just stay together as a family wherever you are. Allow that to happen. That's negotiation parenting for the rest of the child's life, whatever age. So negotiation parenting essentially involves the mysterious journey of life for and with the child, with knowledge and intuition from all these areas. These are the areas that I looked at. Okay? And the areas in blue are the ones I'm going to talk about tonight. The rest of it, read my book. Okay? If not, try Sixth Sense. Okay, if we have time, maybe we go a little bit into it. This is where I come from. Okay, now, why is this called a mysterious journey? Because in parenting, we know, even with the best parenting book, every child is different, even twins. Okay, you don't know what to expect tomorrow or the next hour with the child. Something can happen. Even how well you predict, you can't get it, right? You have to adapt. Okay, let me start with cognitive neuroscience, one of my love of psychology. Now, if you look at all these slides, they just messed up your mind if you don't like this. Okay, first, look at this. This is our brain, very huge size because it's on a slide. We are looking from the bottom up. This is our right hemisphere, this is the left hemisphere, this is our cerebellum behind the neck, and that's the stem, brain stem leading down to the backbone. This is our brain. If you cut it into half, you see this from the inside. Okay? You have all the brain stem and all the parts. I'm not going to worry you about this. What is important for us to know, if you're not aware, that we are all made up of neurons. Neurons are nerve cells. Each nerve cell has got dendrites, length axon, and then you have got it links to other axon. And this is how it works, right? This is us. So there are different types of neurons, and inside each neuron, you find our DNA, you find a lot of fats, you find all the other chemicals inside. So if you are not fat on the outside, you are fat in your brain. 60 to 70% you are obese. So don't laugh at people who are obese. You're fat in your head. Okay? So remember this. This is what we are. I'm going to tell you a lot about this that has to do with parenting. Now, if you look, you're sitting there, you're looking at everybody's head. This is what, if you open the head, is what it looks like inside. Okay? You get the left brain, left hemisphere, everything about detail, logical, academic, study, language, generally for most people. The right side, spatial, music, fun, and all those things. So this is familiarity, this is novelty. Generally for most people. For some people like me, left hand switch to right hand, this thing is messed up. Okay, some of the green went over, some of the boxes went over to the other side. And some psychologists laugh at this because women generally have got the whole brain together. Whenever it works, it's one brain. For men, it's always the left side and the right side switch off. That's why men can go fishing. Nothing comes up for the 3 hours, they're still doing it. The wife comes along and says, "Hey Fred, have you got any fish?" "No, that's why I'm fishing." Women cannot take that. So this is our brain. If you look at it, generally this happens, even though we don't want it to separate. Every time we work on the brain, like now you're thinking, the left side fires, the right side also fires. But the left side fires more for language, right side more for spatial stuff. Okay, if you're curious about our brain as compared to other animals. Okay, the human adult brain is about 1,300 to 1,400, is about 3 pounds. Okay, for a 68-year-old person, it's 2% of our body weight. But it takes up 20% of our energy. That's how important the brain is. 2% but 20% of energy. The human baby is about 1/3 to 1/4 of the adult size. This is important. I'm going to share with you. If you have a dog, it's a beagle, that is his size brain, and then you have a cat. If you have a turtle, if you have a lizard as a pet, that's his brain. So don't accidentally step on it, nothing much left. If you are jealous of the sperm whale, this is the whale's brain compared to our human brain. That doesn't mean you got a bigger brain, you are smarter. Okay? At most, you do whale calls that we don't understand. Okay, the rest are the brain stuff. Now, let's move into more important stuff. Every adult brain generally has 100 billion interconnected neurons. Put in numbers, American terms, it looks like this. Okay? Has 1 trillion smaller glial support cells. The neurons are like little wires in our head, but it cannot be floating there. So the glial cells, glue cells, hold them together. And glial cells also hold the blood vessels and nutrients and everything and the waste of the nerves. So it's very important to have this. So if you look at these numbers now, your brain is not only fat, but it's very rich. If we translate this into dollars and cents. Okay, that's why I just now give you 1 nerve cell each. I still have a lot more to keep. Okay, it weighs about 3 pounds. If you want to look at a live human brain, it looks like refrigerated butter, not just the chiller part only, or looks like a fluffy ball of oil. Okay, I've tried eating a pig's brain many years ago. It's just oil in Chinese herbs, trying to swallow it. Has a blood-brain barrier. This is very important. Okay, the glial cells form the blood-brain barrier, which means a lot of chemicals, a lot of food containing chemicals that we eat does not reach the brain. Otherwise, we'll die very soon. Unfortunately, alcohol, cigarette, drugs go to the brain. That's how we crave for it. That's how we like it and get addicted, and that's the problem. Okay. Brains have 2 important chemical groups. Neurotransmitters means brain chemicals, and hormones. These are the 2 main chemicals that the brain functions on, and it all depends on the food we eat. So the brain runs you and me. The best looking person, the biggest person, the most handsome person, beautiful person is useless if the brain is not functioning. So the brain is more important than the physical part. Now, this is important. If you are parenting, this is your child's brain. About 1/3 of the adult size, only 17% wired. Okay, there's a saying, neurons that fire together, wire together. What I'm stressing here is that if you have a child, it's going to grow to another 2 times of its brain in life. And this will only grow if you allow the child to interact with the environment. Not just lie there and wait, sit in the pram and wait. You let that happen to a child, you get an average child. You let the child interact with the environment, with you as parent, with the caregiver, with the objects, with the toys, with the environment, everything, with the air and everything, the child will grow and the neurons will connect. Every time, everything that the child does, listen, smell, neurons will grow. And throughout life, it will grow up to 25 years of age. Then it slows down a lot more. But the main growth is the first 2 years. Most parents deprive their kids of this brain growth, healthy brain growth, the first 2 years because they hang on to the kids. Protect the kids so much, they swaddle them in a towel, put them in the pram, and rock them in a cradle. A lot of these are deprived. That's why a lot of us are average. Blame who? Blame your parents. Again. Okay? So from now on, you should do this. But don't worry. It doesn't mean that at your age now, you can't improve. Okay? The brain will prune and blossom while growing. What it means is that when a baby is born, the brain has got lots of extra wires. If these wires are not pruned off, will not die off, wither off by itself, it will clog the brain. Likely we get autism, likely we get dementia when we are old. Okay, and then you must allow it to blossom. It must grow. More connection, thicker connections, more receptors, all kinds of things in the brain. So this must happen for a child to be smart. And what is important, it needs BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophin factor, and neurotransmitters. And a lot of these come from food. The right food, right nurturing, this will grow in the brain will grow. Very important. So never neglect food for the child. More on the child's brain. This is important. The child's brain loves to listen to parents speak, read, and write. Never mind the child is not able to do this. What fascinates me is that mothers, especially, talk to children in a very fascinating language. Until today, I cannot understand where it comes from. And the first 2 words mother always use with the child is angu angu. I can't spell it. I don't know where it comes from. If you know, let me know. Okay, I still can't figure it out. The closest I understand is maybe uncle. Angu angu. So when the mother says angu angu to the baby looks at her. It's like, what? That's why they always stunned. They stop. It's like, I've been listening to you for 9 months in your womb. You speak normal. Now you go angu angu. What's wrong with you? Then the mom try again, angu angu. This time the baby smiles. It's like, stupid. Then the mother says, oh, he likes me. You know, so more angu angu. My goodness. You try to learn angu angu. Until today, you can't use computer. It's only 1 or 0, no angu angu. So do this, okay? Please speak to your child what we call parentis. It used to be called motheris or fatheris. Because father one language, mother one language. Now parents. So you speak to a child normal language, maybe a bit slower, high intonation, and some fun. You know what I mean? All parents do that. Kids will listen. And please use proper language because they pick it up, even bilingual. But if you ever use bilingual, more than one language, you speak one language each time. Do not mix. Don't do the channel 8 way. You mix, the child get confused. And the best time to learn a language the native way is the first few years. You miss that, it's difficult. It's like now you try to pick up a foreign language, you just don't get the correct accent. Right? Do this to a kid. Love human interaction. Very important. What is found in research and studies are that the best interaction with the child is the human being. Mainly the caregivers, the mothers, and all the adults around. Not iPad, not iPhone, not computer. Why? Because all these electronic gadgets will just stump the kid. They don't understand what's going on, they just react. They don't learn anything. The best is with the parents. That's why this is called quality time with the kid. You touch the kid, bonding, you smile, you interact, you play, you bond, you have emotions, you do all kinds of things, and it's creative. So remember to do this. Okay, never leave a baby lying there doing nothing. After all, they sleep many hours a day. So the only hours left, you have to play with it. And what I'm showing you here, pictures, why is a kid, a baby playing with his legs? Because he doesn't know his legs are his. It's not connected. When he plays with it, then he realizes that after a while, hey, I can move this thing. Right? The brain wires. And then here, of course, it's nothing wrong with this. Because when we are born, the sensation of sight and all these are very slow. Taste is one of the earliest, but closest is the mouth. That's why babies put everything in the mouth to see what object it is, to see the object, not to taste the object. So you can't blame them for putting them in the mouth. Okay? Loves to learn through attention and memory. Use simple toys. The recommendation is you don't use complex toys because everything is prepared for the child. He learns nothing from the toy. You give simple toys like even a cardboard. He will play with it. It's creative. He can walk around with it as a roof. He can play around with it as a dress, whatever. It's creative play. And then memory. You notice most of us cannot remember our childhood days. The most we remember something maybe 3 years or after, or traumatic events only. Why? Because our parents don't tell stories with us. You have to keep talking, telling stories, feelings, emotions with the kid so that they remember. They know, okay, yesterday you went to grandma's house, what happened, and then link. Give them a story so when they grow up, they have stories to tell. And the stories are memory. It will build the hippocampus, the memory area. Loves play, toys, stories, technology, socialization. Here we are talking about structured and free play. Structured play means they go to a childcare, they get stuck there for 1-2 hours playing. Okay, free play will be, they are free to do anything. In the Western world, they have this room called a rumpus or something, where everything is protected. The kids just go in there and do whatever they want. They flip, they fall, they roll. That free play enhances the brain a lot more than structured play. So in Singapore, we are keeping our kids at home. A lot of times in the room with the computer, we are killing the brain. Again, your fault. Loves exercise. Exercise for thinking. Every time we move, we are exercising the brain. And it helps in the thinking and feeling. So a baby, anyone must move. Okay, as long as we are stagnant, as long as we sit in a wheelchair, we sit in an office chair for too long, your brain will go numb. So don't let this happen. Love to sleep. Sleep is something very important that research have found that a lot of teenagers are depriving themselves of because of internet surfing. Most teenagers are now losing more than 1 or 2 hours of sleep per night. That hurts the brain. MIT research has found recently that when we are asleep, the brain purges itself of waste. If it's not purged of waste, the next day your head will be muddled. That's why students who mark their books the night before the exam, the next day, they learn everything, but they can't remember, can't recall. This is what's happening. Okay, the wastes are not out. So you cannot mark and study overnight. Same as for babies. Babies sleep many, many hours. You let them sleep. And every time they sleep, it's the brain rewiring itself, consolidating memories, repairing itself, and dreaming. And dreaming is very important. It's like lessons, practices at night, which is not harmful. You can practice to kill someone in the brain, in the dream. Nothing will happen to you. You just wake up and scare yourself, that's all. Maybe you call it a nightmare. All right? So these are 2 stories I took from Women's Weekly magazine, October 2015 issue. Good examples of parenting. These are good examples of parenting which parents should do with their kids, not sitting at the computer watching TV. So I just want to share with you some gender differences. Females' left brain develop first, males' right brain first, language versus spatial. Therefore, you find little girls talk before little boys. Okay, and boys like to play with objects and the environment. They don't talk so much. And in order to help boys, parents must talk more. Otherwise, they will end up, great, okay. Females talk earlier than boys, have larger preschool vocabularies, and use more complex sentence structures. Don't be jealous if you have only sons. Females have a larger, denser corpus callosum, which is the bundle of nerves that connect the two hemispheres, than males. Because of that, females use thinking and emotion very closely, right? Females use both hemispheres in language. Males only use the left. That's why sometimes they talk, they don't feel. After they talk, they don't know what they have talked. Females verbalize in their moods more easily, may dig themselves into a deeper emotional hole. Okay, it's good to talk. As therapists, we always tell the clients, release your anger, release your pent-up emotion, whatever. Now we know when they release, if you don't help them solve the problem, they go into a rut. Very dangerous. For men, they are less emotional, they talk less, but they are more likely to kill themselves. This is for teenagers. Why? Because they don't talk. And men always try lethal way of killing. They don't take pills. They say, hard to die. They jump off the building. Halfway, they say, oh, I don't want, it's too late. Okay, I move into food and medical sciences. Nutritional anthropology is about the design of the human body and food. We should be eating more plants, less meat, and more movement because we have only 4 canines. The rest of the teeth are for chewing. But we end up now eating more meat. That's why we have a lot of problems. Well, I'm going to cover some of this. Okay, blood sugar. Know this. When you eat, your blood sugar level goes up, glucose. You take bad carbohydrates called bread and potato. Most of us eat this. You have high blood sugar. High blood sugar, you have carbohydrates plus protein. If you take a lot of meat, you have insulin rush. Insulin goes up, cholesterol goes up. That's why we have the Santa. Right? If there's anything, it's the food. If you take a lot of fats, you drink a lot of milk, it goes in as insolubles, everything comes out, nothing absorbed. Fatty acids, supposed to be good fats and bad fats, omega-3, omega-6. But we nowadays are eating a lot of fried food. Even vegetarian fruit are fried. So much so that we are eating a lot of bad fats and it gives us all these problems. Okay? Blame the fats. Yes? Sodium, potassium, we are supposed to take 1 part of salt to 5 parts of plants. A lot of people don't eat vegetables and fruits. So we have abnormally high salt, low potassium. Salt irritates and scars the arteries. We have atherosclerosis, thickening of the arteries. That's why we have a lot of stroke and blood problems. High salt causes osteoporosis, to bend over. Alkaline acid balance, okay, a lot of acidic foods, a lot of alkaline foods, but we choose to be more acidic. An acidic diet draws on calcium, sodium, and potassium. In the end, we get osteoporosis and all the other problems with our body. This is nutrition. This one is scary. Only a mother's milk for her baby. Cow's milk are for calves, small brain, and big horns. So you start drinking milk, won't be long, you have horns and a smaller brain. Human bodies after age 4 are not designed to absorb human milk nor animal milk. Why? Because we don't have the lactose enzyme anymore. And we don't need milk. Ask yourself, which adult animal drinks milk to prevent bone loss? Have you seen a giraffe with a bent neck? Elephant with wobble legs? They're all vegetarian. Only human take milk. That's why we have osteoporosis. Okay, the more milk you drink, the higher chance of osteoporosis, because when milk goes in as a liquid, it is acidic. The body says, wow, lots of acid coming in, I need to neutralize. In order to neutralize, it will take the sodium, it will take the calcium from your skeleton and pass it out. So literally, when you take milk, you pee your bone out, you lose. Okay, don't want to scare you anymore. Let's go into smart parenting style. Okay, first, you have to understand yourself. It's called inside-out parenting. Okay, if you don't know this, don't teach your kid. If you don't know this, don't teach your parents. Revision 101. If you know this, then you understand how your child do this. I'm going to cover attend, perceive, and learn. Okay, there are types of attention. These are the various types of sleep we have. What's important is that we have this thing called focusing attention. Like now, if you focus on a slide, you're using beta waves. If you're sorting things out, you're using alpha waves. You're thinking what you did, you're thinking of what is happening here. Or you space out, you have imagining attention, theta waves. And now, of late, they have found this thing called reactive attention. People who just react to computer games. No learning, just reaction, very fast, very good at buttons, right? What's important is that our minds shift from one state to another. I may have lost you after a while. You space out, which is okay. So I show you some slides, I show you some pictures, you come back. That's how, when we teach, we watch students, we watch children's attention, and we play along. If they're really tired, we take a break. For those who are different learners, we ask them to go out of the room, go and stretch themselves. Okay? This is 340 million young people going to be bored, even though they have all the latest computer gadgets and games. Why? Because pressing button is not learning. This is in Yahoo News, and I took it out from Yahoo September 25th, recently. So computer games, in the end, is no good. Types of perception. This is mind patterns. This is for learning. Okay? There's visual thinkers, the thinkers and learners. There are people who are auditory thinkers, learners. You listen. You don't like to watch. No slides, never mind. For those visual, no slides, you don't know what to do, right? And then, of course, there's the kinesthetic thinkers, learners, that involves move, smell, touch, taste. This is the group that is disadvantaged in school. Because all schools, most of the schools are visual, auditory. This is the group that likely will not do well or fail if we don't cater to these needs. So if you are this kind of parents and your kid is visual, you must compromise. You like fishing, your child likes to read, both of you go fishing and read. Or read to the fish. So what happens is, for visual thinkers, they see to learn, they show to express. Auditory, they hear to learn, they say to express. For kinesthetic, experience to learn, they do to express. You know this, you know how your child thinks and learn and perceive life. Okay? So these are various slides looking for patterns. I can share with you the slides later on. What do you do to understand which mode, which pattern your child is? I'm going to skip this very quickly. Beta state, alpha state, and theta state. Well, now I want to move quickly into thinking talents. This is the modern intelligence. Not straight A's in maths, physics, science, history, Chinese. You are good at Chinese doesn't mean you're a good employer or good employee. It's this that counts. Okay, whether you have good analytical skills, innovative skills, procedural skills, or relational skills. This gives us our intelligence. And we go on, you will see analytic, order, gathering, fixing, procedural, concentration, equality, precision, thinking back, self-confidence. Okay, I'm going to share these slides with you. Relational, lots of things. Mentoring, collaboration, intimacy, storytelling, blah, blah, blah. And innovative skills, flexibility, strategy, and all this. And then there's a group of skills that is applicable to all quadrants. Humor, important to laugh at yourself and laugh at the world. Goal setting, no goals, problem. Wanting to win, competitive, not kiasu. This is being competitive. Thinking alone is a special skill because that's where you reflect. That's what we're teaching here in JCU. Okay, reflection. So these are the thinking talents which are intelligences. Learning, just to go through with you, is discovery, multisensory, care and value, successful in school, and then it includes all this or more. Exploring, wondering, imagining, reflecting, deciding, concentrating, more. A child has to do to the world, but we stop them. Hot, don't touch. This, don't do. We protect. We're stopping the child from wandering, expressing himself. This is bad. Self-discipline, okay, do not use punishment. We know that because punishment will lead to a downward cycle. Discipline is a teaching process. It's not the punishment thing. We are talking about being thoughtful, compassionate, and responsible, making the child or the adolescent or the adult this way. Okay? It allows children to learn responsibility and self-discipline. The major goals are problem-solving, decision-making. You don't let the child problem-solve and decision-make, the child will be handicapped in life. There's no self-discipline. Okay? Obedience or compliance is not self-discipline. Self-discipline and resilience is the protecting factor. This is important. So always teach the child. Teach. The child learn. Don't always give answers to the child or the person. Smart parenting, if you look in the book, it means success skills, mind patterns, attraction, interest, resources, thinking talents. We have covered some of this. So what I have not covered are resources. Use everything, everybody around to help your child grow and learn. Now, these are some of the mindset change that I want to share with you. It's a long list, okay? Parents are models for children, you know that. Parents are to be firm, consistent. Allow each child's own development, not by some chronological yardstick. That by this age you must be this. Don't. Look at a child. Every child is a gift. Natural gift. Every child has a talent. You find that talent is good. Recently I had a student here from China. She finished her degree here. She wants to go back and work as a waitress. The father was so furious. He told her, no, you must finish your MBA, your master's. She said, I want to work because I want to serve. That's her talent. She found it. And the father refused. And in the end, I asked her, I said, can I speak to your father? He's in China. They flew over. We had a chat for 1.5 hours. He agreed to let her go back and be a waitress. When she's learned the skill of waitressing, learned the skill of managing the restaurant, she will start her own restaurant business. I told him, that's the talent. That's what she wants. When she's all ready, she may come back to do her MBA. So don't force it on her, right? Don't compare children. Each is his or her own unique. I have students here whose parents compared them. They got fed up. They work very hard here and go back and show their parents, don't ever compare me with the siblings or the nieces and nephews, whatever. I am myself. So they hate this. Don't ever do this. Not even with your own children, not even with twins, okay? Children have different temperaments. Recognize their contributory activities, whatever they do. Validate children's reactions. Anything that they say, do, understand it. Collaborative problem solving, work together, not as parents, you tell them what to do. Mistakes are experiments, not mistakes. Just like what Thomas Edison did, right? 200 times to get the light bulb working, 198 times failed. He said, those are experiments. Those are not mistakes until I get 2 of them right. Give children choice for change. Change for parents is quicker than for children. Children need time to adjust. You don't like to eat something doesn't mean they don't have to like it tomorrow. It may be days, weeks, or months, or even years. All right? Focusing on problems and strength in children, parents, both. Sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Practice influence instead of control. Don't have too much of psychology control over your kids. Influence your kids. Praise is tasty but not nourishing. You don't tell a child, well done. The child goes to school and tell the friends, my mom said, well done. I don't know what's that. Maybe medium rare. Right? So what they want is say something about the effort. Well, you have worked very hard for your math study and now you got this amount of this score. Very good. Praise the effort, not the abilities, because abilities are natural. You can't change. The effort can. So praise that. Okay? And of course, in a difficult situation, ask the child, what do you really need right now? Not what happened. What's wrong with this? Ask what do you want right now. You try this with your kids, sure no answer will come out because they haven't thought of it before. They fought with a friend. They came back, you say, what do you want right now? It's like, huh? No answers, never mind. No answers for the next few hours, never mind. Next day, finally it will come. When it comes, that means they have done what? Problem solving, decision making. They come back to you probably with a solution. That is parenting. Okay? In summary, we have covered all this, very quickly. In summary, it's about brain, food, learning, exercise for now. So final word, you are your children's greatest gift if you help their gifts come true. That's the if here, that's conditional. Thank you.